Hey,
Hello.
how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I am great. I'm happy to see you. I was like a fellow Londoner. I haven't done a lot of Londoners on my channel, so
hmm
I'm glad to be speaking to you today. How are you? How are you? Firstly, how's your day been?
Honestly, I'm great. I've been a bit nervous. I will say that because this is my like first interview and that.
Oh
But
no.
honestly, great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I do want to join, like, into like kind of get into that conversation of being nervous because I've
hmm
been doing this a while. I've kind of done music for a bit as well, but
I
I
saw.
still, yeah, and I still feel anxious about everything.
Yeah,
So I kind of want to, dive into that a little bit later because I know you do quite a lot of like
100%.
performances, and I've
hmm
seen a couple of posts where you've talked
Oh,
about your
thank you. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like it's amazing. But for
Thank
those who
you.
don't know, maybe give yourself a quick introduction, how long
hmm
you've been doing music, and then we can dive right into the
hmm
questions.
Well, my name is Brando, also known as Brandoslife. I'm a singer-songwriter from London. Um, and I mostly do pop music, R&B, just like a blend of the two, but I also like to branch out and do different genres because I don't really like to be stuck in a box. Let's just say that. I think that's for every artist nowadays. But that is me, yeah.
Exactly. But you're also a dancer. Like, I
Yeah, I do
mean,
dance as well, yeah. I did dance
don't
for like
don't
13 years.
downplay yourself. You do it
I
all.
know, but it's just like yeah, I get that, yeah. But thank you, I
How
appreciate
long
that.
have you been dancing? So I obviously bring that up because on your Instagram you shared your kind of choreography that you did
hmm
for Normani's Wild Side
hmm
song.
Everyone loved that one, yeah.
It was great. It was great. How long have
Thank
you
you, thank
been
you.
dancing for?
Well, I actually started doing dancing. That was like my first kind of getting into music, really. And I did dance for like 13 years.
Wow.
I stopped doing it because I kind of had like an injury with my ankle. Luckily it's got to a point where like I can still dance now and it's not like irritating. But I kind of also like a mental kind of thing where I just wanted to stop, and I kind of got into singing and I started enjoying that. And then I was like, you know what? Let me just blend the two. And that's what I'm slowly working towards. Just like
Yes.
singing and dancing at the same time, hopefully in a few years and everything. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
think having a 1-2 step while you're dancing, while you're singing
exactly.
is useful. It's useful.
Yeah, it builds it. And like people will enjoy it and everything. And you enjoy it as well because like not taken from like those who stand because that is an art in itself. But I think
Exactly.
you can have like so much more fun with just like interacting with the audience and like moving back and forth and adding choreography. So that's something I love personally. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think it definitely does add another element to performance.
hmm
People listen to music with their eyes, so they want all the visuals
Exactly.
too. So I think
Yeah,
it's a good thing to have on the side, that you
I
can pull out
appreciate it.
whenever you
Thank you.
want.
hmm
What made you then go into music? I know obviously you are quite a creative person, but what
hmm
was the thing that made you feel like, okay, music is for me.
hmm
Dancing may not be, my primary, goal or passion. What inspired you to do music?
Well, I always kind of had the concept of wanting to be a performer, so that was always there. It was kind of like because no, because just building the singing in general, like it took quite a bit of work. So for me at the start, it wasn't very much like, oh, this is something, this could be something, this couldn't be something, if you kind of know what I mean. But with like training and go having vocal lessons and everything like that and putting in the work, I got to the point like I'm still not where I want to be. I'm still growing in that. Um,
Mhm.
but I started kind of getting into the concept, okay, maybe I can actually do this. And
Nice.
I got to the point where I was like, while we're in like lockdown and that, I just tried it, and from that, I've never been happier. Just putting
Amazing.
out songs here and there and growing from it. I think that's just so important. Just yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where it
I
started,
feel
really.
like the lockdown for a lot of people kind of made them feel like, okay, I need to do it. Like it's now or never, right?
A
I need to
hundred
go and
percent.
be
Yeah, yeah.
creative. So you release like feelings now. What feels like obviously lockdown is a warped kind of
hmm
time. So you feel
Yeah.
like it's a short time, but that was actually 2 years ago for you.
Exactly. It's
Um,
crazy. Yeah.
it's crazy, right? So
hmm
so how has that experience? You've released loads of singles in between the latest release. Like how has that felt? Like being able to really release your music, your writing, who you are, and now I feel like you're a bit of a veteran now. 2 years in, it's a good thing.
Yeah. I would say that. The last 2 years has been. I want to say the singles before the last three that I put out is very much been experimenting and realizing like what I can do, if you get what I mean.
Nice.
And when it came to the last three singles, it was very much like, okay, I want to put more money, I want to put more effort into this. So
Mm.
that's why I started taking it a bit more seriously, started discovering my sound. I want to say, like, I'm still not there, but I've just got like a rough idea.
Right.
Um, but yeah, it's just like growing, really, just growing
Yeah.
from the first single to the next one. Like that's what I do it with every single. I go back to each one and I realize I figure out like this is what could have went better and everything. Take notes, and I just apply it because I think that's so important. You want to grow as a person and also an artist. So yeah.
Yeah, of course, of course. No,
Mhm.
it's really good. My favorite track. I mean, apart from Mistakes, we'll get into in a bit.
Mhm.
Is You Lied, which
You
also
like?
is I like that. I think it's one of my
Thank you.
favorite.
Yeah, yeah.
And obviously, it's got quite a few streams. It kind of did well on Spotify.
Hmm.
Have you felt like the pressure as an artist? I know a lot of indie artists go through this to kind of like, oh, I need to get streams, or I need to make sure I'm capturing new audiences, because it's a bit of a catch-22, right? You want to do
Yeah.
what you love, but at the same time, some of that does involve the marketing, does involve like the pushing, the driving of music outside the music. So have you
Mhm.
felt that pressure already?
I did. I will say I do feel it, and I do try. And sometimes when it comes to marketing and promoting, to try and catch the trends here and there.
Mm,
But I think the biggest thing is letting the world catch up to you and not chasing the world in that. Where I feel like if I was to, I just don't want to lose oh my God, authenticity. I think that might be the word.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
want to
yeah.
lose a sense of myself, because then I think the content then doesn't come from me, and then it starts coming from those who consume it, and I don't ever want to lose that. But also, like, a part of me, like, if you want this, then I'll give it to you, but I want it to be on my terms, if you get what I mean. I think that's so important. So yeah.
I think that's a great way to think, because a lot of artists are struggling with that pressure.
Hmm.
But like you said, it's if you kind of let the world catch up with what you're doing, then it's great, right? You're going to find the
Hmm.
people that kind of follow the same ideas that you do, love the
Yeah,
sound that you make.
exactly.
Do you ever write from a personal level, or is it ever inspired by people around you? Where do you get that inspiration from?
It's definitely a personal level, I will say. Though sometimes I do get inspired. Like I listen to like just a song on the radio, or some of the songs that I love, and I get like, oh, I kind of want to make a song like this, but
Okay.
I want it to tell my story and what I've gone through as well. Um,
Right.
and that was kind of with Mistakes, I will say. So yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
And then who were the artists that inspired you growing up? I know that's a very like typical question you get in an
No,
interview.
it's a good question though. I think it says a lot about music and the music you create. I will 100% say like Beyonce is probably my biggest musical influence. Just like an amazing artist in general, and the fact that she's a great performer as well, something I strive to be as well. Um, I will say also Michael Jackson and Prince,
Mm.
and Mariah Carey, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just recently that I've started to take musical influences from Chloe and Halle, um, and that's about it really. But
Okay.
those four are the main big ones, really.
Those are some big artists.
Yeah, I know.
I think it's no. If you're gonna inspire to be anyone, like these are legends who have really created like their own lane in music, and I'm sure that's something. Hopefully, one day you'll be able to do. When it comes to Beyonce, you mentioned Beyonce. Now I know she's been in the news recently for her latest release, and not
Yeah.
to put you on the spot
No, no,
before
that's
the
all right.
Beehive come. I
No.
know there's been a very mixed response. For me personally, listen to her new material, it
Hmm.
actually feels very UK, like very
Yeah.
like we listen to that kind of
Hmm.
vibe. Whereas I think internationally, that's not the kind of music people kind of listen to.
Hmm.
So, what are your thoughts? And is this? Are you happy with the new direction?
Do you know what? The first time I listened to it, I will say I was like, I was very questionable. But then I kind of sit back and I was like, none of her albums sound the same, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
And I also was like, saw somebody on Twitter make a really good point where has her lead singles are normally just more kind of for everyone, and then the second single is very much for her her
Target
main target,
audience.
like yeah, the main target audience. So like
Mm,
the third single for like Beyonce, the album was EXO, and then the second single was Drunk in Love, and you know everyone went crazy for Drunk in Love.
right.
But I think it's great that she's stepping out her box, her comfort zone, like always, and just pushing that narrative where like not putting black women in a box when it comes to music, and just creating the music that she loves and being inspired by everything that she comes across, which is
Right.
great, I will say. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to think. And also,
Hmm.
you know, I've spoken to other black artists, and they also feel the same way. Sometimes you are pigeonholed into a genre. Like, obviously,
Yeah,
you can love pop, you can love R&B, you can love
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
soul, and you can do it. But why is that the
Just
genre
what you
everyone
want
assumes?
me to do. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's just pushing yourself to just do it because in the end, like people normally just, as I said before, the world will come to you. You don't want to, because
right.
it normally just works out in the end. Like look at
Yeah,
Doja Cat, like honestly, one of the
yeah,
biggest artists in the world right now, and how versatile she is, and how much people praise her for being so versatile. So
right.
I think
Yeah,
it's like,
do you think
mhm.
you're going to experiment into that genre? Like Drake is also getting into that
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
sound.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
100%. So yeah, 100. I think I definitely will. I think I really want to just try everything, just to slowly also find myself as well. Because I feel like with everything that you explore, you find different elements of yourself,
right.
and vice versa, and that. But yeah,
Yeah, well, it's exciting to hear you do that as well. I think it will be
thank
very
you.
interesting to see you get into that sound. You know, at the start of this interview, we kind of spoke about how nervous you were for this interview.
Hmm.
Firstly, you come across very well. You're very
Thank
like
you. I
I would
appreciate
not know if you're nervous at all.
it. I'm
Um,
literally shaking, but yeah, thank you.
no need to kind of be nervous about it. But
Mhm.
obviously, that's easier said than done. And I know, even on your Instagram, you've been very open and kind of honest about that anxiousness that you feel when you're putting
Mhm.
out music or doing a cappella or doing performances. Like that, there's always going to be a feeling of anxiousness. How
Yeah.
have you dealt with that, and how do you kind of push past it? Because for a lot of people, that's really really difficult,
Mhm.
and you're still managing to do that. So how does that feel for you?
Um, honestly, it's still like a everyday struggle. I can't say that it's like a one time fix kind of thing. Some days you wake up stronger than another. But I think me being so open about it gives other people that kind of it's not just me, if you get what I mean.
Mm,
And maybe if I can build a community where it's other people that feel the same way, when then we can like uplift each other and push each other to do greatness and do like just reach our fullest potential.
right,
That I do 100% still struggle with it. Like I've been lacking the past week and a half, but it's just
right,
take it in your own time. Don't feel the pressure from everyone else and seeing because everyone else is doing things every other day that you have to do it. Because I know
yeah.
that's how it is on social media, but just do you. I think it's so important. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. And have you ever felt that anxiousness on stage? I was watching your stage performances, and I think that's why I also maybe like subconsciously had an opinion of how you would be because you're such a
Hmm.
great performer. You know, you're
Oh, thank
moving.
you, thank you, thank you.
Like I wouldn't say you would be a nervous performer. So,
Hmm.
does the stage give you that kind of freedom to let go? Um,
Yes, 100% when I'm singing. I will say it's gotten a lot better when it comes to just getting on stage. Before I would like proper shake up and everything, but now I've got to the point where I just literally walk up on stage and a kind of like trance comes over me, and I become like a different person.
right,
Um, but still in the back of my head, I'm still like, oh my God, is this gonna, if I'm, am I gonna hit the right note? Am I gonna do this? Like, what am I
right,
gonna do? The stage is not big enough. How am I gonna move? Like, it's always in the back of my head. But
yeah,
just like, I think the biggest thing for me is, okay, this might go wrong, but at the end of the day and after the show, you can look back on it and be like, okay, this happened this time. It won't happen the next time, and just take notes. And that's
yeah,
exactly what I do. I write notes in my notes app and just be like, okay, this happened. The music needs to be turned up. The backing vocal needs to be turned up like this or turned
yeah.
down or something like that, just so that you can prove. Because I'm still in the beginning stages, and it takes ages to really master anything really. So
Yeah.
I think just cut
I
yourself
love that.
slack.
Yeah, I think you're
Hmm.
using every opportunity to almost make it a learning opportunity, right? Whether
Yeah.
things go
Hmm.
bad or good, it's always something that you can take away with you for your next
Yep.
performance,
Thank you.
which is amazing. So a lot of people, I guess, because of lockdown, um, yeah, somebody said in the chat, positive criticism. It's great, right? Because a
Thank
lot of
you.
things around us, right, is super negative, right? When you're
Mm,
putting yourself out there doing something creative, you're really it's up front and central for people to
exactly.
criticize. So
Anyone can say anything. Hmm.
exactly, and you're taking those opportunities to make yourself a better performer, and you're already quite amazing, I would say, for
Thank
somebody who
you.
hasn't been doing it for a long time. So I
Hmm.
think hats off to you.
Thank you. You gotta study the greats. That's the key. You gotta
Yeah,
study the greats. Yeah.
you've got to, you've
Hmm.
got to. So a lot of people, I guess, for lockdown weren't able to experience that live performance. How different is it for you to be in the studio compared to performing live? And what are those two experience? Which do you prefer, maybe, between those two
A
experiences?
100% live. Because when it comes to the studio, I'm such a perfectionist. And when it comes to the studio, it takes me ages to do a song. It's only just recently with the song that I've almost finished, just in the mixing and mastering process right now.
Mm.
Um, that I was able to just like kind of shut my inner voice up and just be like, okay, I can't always wait for a good vocal day. Because even on the good vocal days, like I have moments where I'm just like, oh, I can't do this anymore. And like after an hour, I'll give up. Um,
Mm.
if like the take doesn't sound great, and I do quite a lot of vocal layering and everything, and it's quite heavy. It's
Yeah.
quite heavy on the mind as well. And because I'm doing it by myself in this small room, it's a lot. It is a lot. So just like, oh my God, I actually forgot the question. I'm sorry. I just kind of
No, 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 no. You were
like,
saying you prefer obviously live
oh yeah,
performances
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
it gives you, yeah,
But yeah, you don't have to think as much, and you don't have to like, oh my God, like move the note somewhere or just like have to sing it again.
yeah,
It's a lot. But with like live performing, you just do it once, and I don't know what it is, but it always turns out better than
yeah.
when the studio. Um,
It's interesting because I think if you give so on my day job, this is a random tangent,
no, no,
but
no, go on.
I'm a content creator anyway outside work, but
Hmm.
I have to get people to do recorded webinars, and when we give them an hour and we say, okay, we've given you an hour so that you can do two takes. Like you
Hmm.
don't need to use it, but you've got space for two takes.
Hmm.
Everyone like kills that first one, and then in they just want to do a second one
Yeah,
because again, like I guess you overanalyze, you criticize, and whatever. But when we do live
exactly.
webinars, they kill it. Like no mistakes, everything is fine. So I
It
totally
has to
get
be that
that.
pressure. Yeah,
Yeah,
it has to be that pressure of everyone's watching you, or
maybe. Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it just has to be that. It's just
yeah.
it's human.
No, but I think you're smashing it.
Oh, thank
Do you,
you.
let's talk about mistakes. I think that's
Hmm.
your latest single. We've got another comment. Sorry, keep
Yeah,
shining out there, man.
thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Um, what is mistakes about, and where did that kind of come from in your life?
Well, Mistakes is very much like a get back kind of single. I was very playful, I will say that, because there's like a few lines in there, like it's just like I'm not actually like that. But
Yeah,
it was very much inspired by The Gift, the Beyonce. I was like, okay, I want to create an Afrobeat song. So I found a beat, really liked it. It was a struggle to write to it, I will say. Luckily, I had a rough um, few lines, and then like somebody pissed me off, and then I just ended up writing the rest. Let's just say that. Um, um, but it is, yeah, a get back single, like not get back song, a get back song. I guess you could use it for like cheating or whatever. It's just like you knowing your self worth and just being like, you gotta go, basically.
yeah.
And yeah, don't play with me again.
So the person who inspired the track, do
Hmm.
they have they heard it? Do they? I'm sure they have.
I
Um,
don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
maybe you
I
should
don't,
maybe you should just send them a sealed like
no,
CD.
I'm not. I'm not. If they listen to it, they listen to it. So
Fair, fair.
I'm gonna just leave it
Thank you
at
for
that.
streaming. Thank you for
Yeah,
streaming.
thank you. I need it.
Are we going to get any visuals for this single?
No, unfortunately
Okay.
not. I didn't really have a plan for that. Normally when it comes to making a song in general, I normally have like a plan and it just comes to me. But with this one, it was very much like I'm just gonna try how it goes, how the genre goes, if you get what I mean. I'm gonna keep it basic but me, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Um, so like just basic kind of pop, just like so I know that I can do it, if you know what I mean.
Right.
But when it comes to promoting, I did just recently create a small like TikTok dance for it, but I haven't got the house to actually record it. But hopefully maybe that like pushes it out a bit more. Um,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
other than that, not really. I'm moving on to the next one.
Okay, okay. Well, so
hmm
there's a lot to look forward to. And I guess
hmm
TikTok, is that a platform that you use? Because I would say
Yeah,
you're like the perfect person to do it because you are a dancer. You're
thank you.
able to
Yeah.
kind of fit your music into it.
hmm
Is it something you utilize for like your own marketing or?
Yes, but TikTok's very difficult, I will say. You really have to be consistent. And with me, I'm very much like I'll be consistent for a week and then I just get tired and kind of drop off. And then I come back. And then because TikTok algorithm, like they want you to stay consistent,
Yeah.
it's not gonna work out. But I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep trying. I'm gonna keep
I
trying
mean,
maybe
the
one day.
struggle has been real for me. I was like, first of all, I don't think I'm a TikTok kind of creator, but at the same time, like when I see people posting 3 times a day, I'm like, I'm
I don't
sorry,
know how
I'm
you
gonna
do
be
it.
gone for a month, and there's gonna be
Yeah,
spaces. Yeah,
I
it's
feel
just not
that.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's
hmm
not gonna happen.
I
Well,
don't know how people do it.
I hope you do it because you are a great dancer, so I
Oh,
think it'd
thank
be a
you.
great
I need to
platform
push myself to do it. Yeah, thank you.
to. So what's next for you? What's the plans? EP, album, or are you going to have a couple more singles?
I'm definitely going to keep on doing singles. I think personally, I think kind of albums and EPs are kind of a waste of time at the moment, especially for me as I'm still building an audience.
Right,
Because I don't really have that many people that do listen to my music as of now. So
right,
it might be just a waste of resources and a waste of time to do an actual EP. So I'm just going to keep on doing
right.
singles here and there and keep on pushing that out until people know are familiar with my face and familiar with that.
Yeah,
But it also gives me a chance to keep on improving the production quality of my songs because now I want to say that I'm in a position where everything I'm kind of familiar with my sound, if you know what I mean? Where I'm in a comfortable spot where like this how it's supposed to sound. Basically, I have a standard now. I have a standard. Before
right,
I didn't. Um,
right.
but yeah,
I
just
mean
keep
that
on pushing them out.
I think that's a good point because obviously when you listen to your material you first released to where it
hmm
is today, even though it was great, I think that you can see the improvement from each single. It's just
Oh, thank
you're
you. Yeah.
leveling up. So I think
hmm
it makes sense that you want to kind of perfect your sound. Well, you've perfected your sound, but really building that audience to enjoy that sound.
hmm
Um, EPs are interesting one. I've spoken to a lot of people. I personally like. I've listened to artists like concept albums and
hmm
little booklets. I was a bit of,
It's
like
so
the Night
beautiful.
Space.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
I love that stuff. So I feel
hmm
like I would love to emulate that one day. But like you said, it's a lot of hard work goes into this
Yeah.
music, a lot of money, a lot of time, effort. So I think it does feel like a waste to release an EP. Just even
hmm
for bigger artists who have more traction,
Yeah.
it doesn't have the same impact as it did before. Um,
hmm
where do you expect maybe in 5 years? What's the dream? Like if I said, we're going to catch up in 5 years,
Oh,
where do you want to be?
well,
Where's the dream?
I want to be in arenas, not selling out. I don't think that's maybe so, maybe so. But playing my music around the world. That is very much the goal. Um, and not to sound cocky, but I very much see it happening. I think I'm really big on manifestation, and if I say it, um, I, I very much believe I can achieve it. And everything that I've done and set so far has been very much a manifestation. So I, I see it happening. I see it happening, and I hope it
It
does. If you know
will
what I mean?
happen.
Yeah.
No
Thank
hoping,
you.
it will
Yeah.
happen. I think I'm the same. I feel like in terms of I know a lot of people are getting into their spiritual space. Lockdown,
hmm
I guess, maybe made people kind of reevaluate their lives, I guess, in a
Hmm.
way. But I've always been a scrapbooker, so for me, everything was noted down. Everything
You
was
want to
like,
see it visually as well, and
yeah,
also have it, yeah, just the, okay, that's gonna
exactly.
happen. Yeah,
Exactly.
100%.
My phone case, like my actual wallpaper. I don't have my other phone with me, but
That's
like
beautiful. Yeah,
on
honestly.
it, I've got my goals, my like it,
I
and
literally have a list of all my goals on my on like a little whiteboard and everything. It's
exactly.
just having
It,
it. Yeah.
yes, the power of our words. I feel like people do not understand. When you
Mm-hmm.
speak it, it will happen. So
100%.
in 5 years, it's not got like if it happens, you're going to be on an arena stage. It's going to be sold out. Don't second guess that. But I think you've got an incredible, space to be in, and actually, in a way, even though you're early stages, this gives you that freedom to really
Exactly.
push yourself in different directions.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see where this goes.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Do you have any messages for anybody who's watching? Any last like few words, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
also where we can find you? I know you're on across a few different
Mm-hmm.
platforms, so let us know.
Um, well, my you can find me on Twitter, Instagram. Did I say Twitter?
Yeah.
TikTok. Oh my God. TikTok,
Yes.
and Facebook, all at Brando's Life. And I actually stream on Twitch now quite consistently. I play video games, but that's just like building a community. And my at is Child of God 995. I know, strange name, but it's funny. Um, and I actually forgot what you said the first thing.
Well, you
I'm
know
so
what?
sorry.
Actually, I have another question. Actually, because
Uh-huh.
Twitch is another platform that a lot of musicians are turning to. Do you think you're
Yeah.
going to be doing some Twitch live stream music stuff?
I think I will. I just need to get all the equipment. Like I'm still because I'm just on a PS4 at the moment, and that's just me playing games.
Right.
I don't have a PC or anything, so I think just saving up for a PC and getting the equipment all together, because I have like half of it. Like I have the microphone, I've got like a wireless microphone and that. It's just like getting all together, and eventually 100%, 100%, because I think with the whole lockdown that happened around the world, people are more interested in like watching artists from at home as well, and I think that's another huge market as well. So
For sure, for sure. It's a great way to see people like in their element, and I think
yeah,
that's yeah, it's nice to see. So thank you so much for joining me. If
no,
anyone
thank
is
you.
watching, no, the pleasure honestly has
No,
gone
but you
past
don't
me.
even realize, like, you may be just talking to artists, but it's also therapy because we get to be able to unpack what, because not a lot of people ask. So I
I
appreciate
love
you.
it.
So
I
thank
love it.
you.
No,
Yeah,
thank you so much. We need to meet in person because you
a
are in
hundred
London.
percent.
So
Yeah,
I'm like, it needs
exactly.
to
Yeah.
happen.
Hmm.
But
I'm
I'm
down.
very glad that I've come across your music. Mistakes is out
Thank
now if
you.
anyone's watching on YouTube, and I'll put all the links in the description where to
Thank you so
find
much.
Brando. Brando, thank you so much again for joining me,
Thank
and
you for
yeah,
your
all the
time,
best for your
honestly.
career. I know we're going to stay in
You
touch,
too.
so
Yeah, yeah, we will 100%. But you
I'm
too as
excited.
well. Everyone,
Thank you so
please be
much.
sure to check his music out and everything that he does. So yeah,
Thank you. All the love, all
no
the
problem.
love. Thanks again for
No
joining me today,
no
and we'll
problem.
catch up soon. Take care.
Yes. See you
Bye.
later. Bye bye.